Life is full of uncertainties. Every moment is like a ripple in a vast ocean, moving us in ways we can't predict. Yet, we try to control it. We believe that if we just think hard enough, plan carefully enough, we can shape every outcome to our liking. But the truth is, we can't. Overthinking is a silent thief. It tells us we can control things that are beyond our reach. It feeds on our fears. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of the unknown. And in this constant struggle for control, we end up paralyzed. We spend hours, days, even years stuck in our heads, replaying scenarios, revisiting conversations, and rehearsing possible outcomes. But what do we gain? Nothing. In fact, we lose peace, clarity, and precious time. Let me ask you this. How many times have you thought about something so much that you felt exhausted, but still uncertain about what to do? How many hours have you spent worrying about decisions that weren't even yours to make? When you start to think you can control everything, you're not moving forward, you're stuck in place. Now imagine if you could let go of this illusion of control. Imagine if you could accept that no matter how much you try, there will always be things beyond your control. When you embrace this uncertainty, something miraculous happens. You stop fighting against life, and you start flowing with it. You stop exhausting yourself in a battle that cannot be won and begin living with more ease. Think about this. What if, instead of trying to control every detail, you took a moment to breathe and reflect on what truly lies within your control? What if, instead of constantly seeking to predict every outcome, you focused only on the actions you can take in the present? Control is an illusion, and once you accept this, the weight of overthinking will begin to lift. Here's a simple practice. Write down 2 lists, one for what you can control and one for what you can't. When worry arises, ask yourself, is this in my control? If the answer is no, let it go. This is how you begin to reclaim peace in a world filled with chaos. But let's be clear. This isn't an invitation to surrender to passivity. It's an invitation to focus your energy on what truly matters: your actions, your mindset, and your responses to life. In doing so, you break free from the grip of overthinking and step into a more grounded, peaceful existence. Now, ask yourself this question. How much of your energy is spent on things you can't control? And more importantly, what would happen if you started releasing those things, one by one? Overthinking is a thief, yes, but it is also a trap, one that pulls you into the past or the future, but never lets you live fully in the present. The future is full of what-ifs, and the past is full of if-onlys. But neither of these can offer you peace. Only the present moment can. You see, when we overthink, we leave the present. We abandon the only moment where true peace resides. Overthinking pulls us into endless loops of regret, worry, and fear about things that haven't happened yet. It's like being at a beautiful park. Sunlight warming your skin, birds chirping, but your mind is elsewhere, stuck in an argument from 3 days ago. That moment is gone, but your body is still reliving the stress as if it's happening right now. And in this constant state of stress, we lose touch with reality. We miss out on what's happening right before us. What would life look like if, instead of getting lost in your thoughts, you truly experienced the moment? Imagine this: the cool breeze against your skin, the sound of your own breath, the warmth of the sun. This is where peace lives, right in front of you, in the here and now. Mindfulness is the antidote to overthinking. It's the practice of anchoring yourself to the present moment, letting go of the past and the future, and simply being where your feet are. It's a practice that doesn't require perfection but presence. It doesn't demand constant effort but awareness. When you're mindful, you allow yourself to be present, to experience life as it is. You can practice mindfulness through simple grounding techniques. Close your eyes and take a deep breath. Notice the sensations in your body. Feel the ground beneath you. Notice 5 things you can see, 4 you can touch, and 3 things you can hear. These simple exercises take just a few moments but can rewire your brain, creating space for peace where once there was chaos. But don't be fooled into thinking that mindfulness is about clearing your mind completely. It's not. It's about noticing the thoughts that arise without getting swept away by them. It's about observing them, accepting them, and gently returning your focus to the present. Here's a powerful question to ask yourself. How often do you find yourself lost in thoughts about the past or the future? And what would happen if, for just a moment, you allowed yourself to be fully present? As you begin to practice mindfulness, you'll find that the grip of overthinking starts to loosen. You begin to realize that the only moment you truly have is right now. And in that moment, you have the power to choose peace over anxiety. So I leave you with this thought. What would your life look like if you spent more time in the present and less time overthinking the past and future? The answer to that question holds the key to living a life of peace, clarity, and purpose. Stay tuned for the next parts, where we'll dive deeper into practical tools for breaking free from the chains of overthinking and reclaiming your power. Subscribe to the channel and join me on this journey to master your mind. We live in a world flooded with information. Every day we are bombarded with news, social media, opinions, and distractions. The constant influx of content often leads to an overactive mind filled with noise, negativity, and clutter. And the more we consume, the more it consumes us. Imagine for a moment that your mind is like a sponge, soaking up everything around you. If you're constantly absorbing negative news, comparing yourself to others on social media, or scrolling endlessly through distractions, what do you think your thoughts will reflect? They will mirror the chaos, the fear, and the insecurity of the world around you. You can't expect your mind to remain calm when you feed it constant turmoil. This is where the power of intention comes into play. Just as you wouldn't feed your body junk food and expect it to thrive, don't feed your mind with negativity and expect mental peace. The food you eat nourishes your body, but the content you consume nourishes your mind. And the choices you make in both areas matter. Now, I'm not suggesting you become ignorant or disconnected from the world. Far from it. But you have the power to choose what you expose your mind to. You can curate your mental diet just as carefully as your physical diet. If you constantly consume content that fuels your fears, your doubts, and your anxieties, how can you expect to break free from overthinking? Instead, feed your mind with content that uplifts, inspires, and empowers you. Choose books that expand your thinking. Watch positive and motivational videos that ignite your passion, and listen to soothing music or podcasts that promote peace and growth. These small choices, repeated consistently, will create a profound shift in your mental landscape. Ask yourself this: what are you consuming, both mentally and emotionally, on a daily basis? What kind of content is shaping your thoughts and beliefs? And, more importantly, how can you start curating a healthier mental diet for yourself? The information you take in today will shape the way you think tomorrow. By limiting the negative mental input, you reclaim your mental energy. You begin to silence the distractions and create space for clarity, peace, and focus. And with that focus, you start to break the cycle of overthinking. One of the most insidious effects of overthinking is the way it spreads throughout your day. The mind doesn't clock out. It keeps working, constantly turning things over, even when you're not consciously trying to solve problems. This can leave you feeling drained, overwhelmed, and exhausted. But here's the truth. You don't have to think about everything all the time. Your mind needs structure, just like every other part of your life. And when you give it structure, it works better. It's a simple yet powerful strategy. Set a worry time. This is not about suppressing your thoughts or ignoring your worries. It's about giving your mind permission to worry, but within boundaries. By scheduling a specific time each day, just 10 to 15 minutes during which you allow yourself to think, analyze, and process your worries, you take control of them. During this time, write down your worries, analyze them, and explore possible solutions. After the timer goes off, tell yourself, "I've already thought about this today," and then let it go. It's that simple. What happens when you give your mind permission to worry, but only during a designated time? You stop your thoughts from hijacking your entire day. Instead of ruminating on a problem while you're working, eating, or trying to relax, you give your mind the structure it craves. It's like giving your overactive mind a place to unload, without letting it control your every move. Think of it as setting boundaries for your mind. You allow yourself to process your emotions, but only within a controlled, intentional space. This practice not only helps to quiet the constant noise of overthinking, but it also empowers you to regain control over your thoughts and emotions. Ask yourself, how often do you let your worries consume you throughout the day? What would it feel like to give yourself permission to worry for a set amount of time and then move on? When you create boundaries for your worries, you'll find that your mind becomes calmer, more focused, and more at peace. This strategy isn't about avoiding problems. It's about shifting your relationship with them. By taking away the power of constant worry, you create space for action, clarity, and presence. And that is where real progress begins. Overthinking often paralyzes us. The more we think, the less we do. The more we focus on the potential outcomes, the more we hesitate to take any steps at all. And in that hesitation, doubt grows, and the cycle of overthinking continues. We feel stuck, unsure, and unable to move forward. But there's one simple truth you need to understand. Action silences loud thoughts. When we take action, no matter how small, we immediately interrupt the cycle of overthinking. Action breaks the loop. It forces us to shift our focus from what could happen or what might go wrong to what is happening right now. When you do something, anything, you move from a place of uncertainty to one of confidence. Start with small steps. Use what's called the 2-minute rule. If something can be done in 2 minutes or less, do it immediately. The more small tasks you complete, the more momentum you create. Each small action builds your confidence, and with confidence comes calm. The anxious mind begins to settle because action creates clarity. You don't need to wait for the perfect moment. You don't need to feel completely ready. Waiting for the right time is often just another form of procrastination. When you start moving, you build momentum. And once you build momentum, overthinking becomes less of a threat. Ask yourself, what's one small thing I can do today that will help me break the cycle of overthinking? What's the smallest action I can take right now to move forward? Taking action, even in small increments, shifts your mind from a state of constant worry to one of productivity and peace. You begin to realize that you have the power to create change, and that sense of empowerment is the antidote to the fear that fuels overthinking. Remember this: the louder the thoughts, the more important it is to take action. Silence them with movement. Step forward, and you'll find that overthinking begins to lose its grip. Overthinking is not something that can simply be forced out of existence. It's a part of being human, and it's natural to want to think things through. The issue isn't that you think, but how you interact with your thoughts. The key is in changing your relationship with overthinking. When you overthink, you believe you're solving problems. But often, you're simply rehearsing scenarios in your mind. You're not actually taking steps to resolve anything. You're just circling the same thoughts. This is the trap of overthinking. It tricks you into believing that more thought equals more control. But in reality, all it does is drain your energy and cloud your judgment. The first step to changing this relationship is to accept that you can't control every thought that enters your mind. Thoughts are like clouds, they drift in and out of your consciousness. Some are helpful, some are harmful, but all of them are temporary. When you acknowledge that thoughts will come but you don't have to follow them, you regain control. You stop trying to force the thoughts away, and instead, you choose which ones to engage with. You may not be able to stop a negative thought from entering your mind, but you do have the power to decide whether you follow it down a rabbit hole. The goal isn't to eliminate overthinking. It's to choose not to engage with it. This process involves gently acknowledging your thoughts without judgment, observing them without attachment, and then letting them pass. Over time, The more you practice this, the less power overthinking will have. You'll find that the thoughts that once consumed you will become less frequent, less intense, and less overwhelming. Ask yourself, what thoughts am I allowing to control my day? How can I begin to acknowledge them without engaging in their narrative? When you shift your mindset in this way, you create space for clarity, for peace, and for the present moment. You stop viewing overthinking as a necessary step in problem solving, and instead, you start seeing it for what it truly is: a distraction from the life you want to live. We've touched on mindfulness before, but let's go deeper into the power of presence. Overthinking is rooted in the belief that we must solve every problem, predict every outcome, and control every aspect of our lives. But true peace and clarity only come when we let go of that need for control and embrace the present moment. Imagine you're in a conversation with someone. Your mind is racing with what you're going to say next, what they're thinking, what might happen after this conversation. You're not fully there. You're not truly listening. You're not experiencing the moment. You're only waiting for your turn to speak, or worse, anticipating a future problem. Now, imagine if you were fully present. You listened without trying to predict what would come next. You took in every word, every gesture, every emotion. You gave your full attention to the person in front of you, not to the swirling thoughts in your mind. That's the power of presence. It allows you to live in the moment, to truly experience life as it unfolds, without the cloud of overthinking clouding your vision. Presence is the antidote to overthinking, because when you are truly present, there is no room for worry. The present moment is the only place where peace can reside. In the present, there is no past to regret and no future to fear. There is only this moment, and this moment alone. Ask yourself, how often do I allow my mind to wander into the future or the past instead of living fully in the present? What would it feel like to be fully present in each moment of my day? Living in the present moment means you're no longer at the mercy of your thoughts. You begin to experience life in its fullness, uncertain, unpredictable, but ultimately beautiful. And it's in that beauty that you'll find true peace. The journey to overcoming overthinking is not a quick fix. It's not something you can simply turn off or erase from your life. No, this is a process. It's a shift in how you live, think, and react to the world around you. It's a journey that takes time, patience, and most importantly, commitment to change. But here's the powerful truth. You already have everything you need to break free from overthinking. It's not about finding the perfect solution or waiting for the perfect moment. It's about making small, consistent choices every single day that build a new reality. A reality where peace, clarity, and confidence are no longer just dreams, but your everyday experience. You've learned how to accept that you can't control everything. You've practiced mindfulness, bringing yourself back to the present moment. You've limited the mental clutter, creating a healthier mental diet. You've set boundaries for worry, allowing your mind to focus only on what truly matters. You've taken action, silencing the noise of indecision and fear. Now, the last step is to embrace the change and make it a permanent part of who you are. This isn't just about techniques and strategies. This is about creating a new way of being, one where overthinking no longer holds you back, but instead, you hold the power to move through life with clarity and purpose. Here's what you must do. Keep practicing the practices you've learned. Mindfulness, limiting mental input, taking action. These aren't just one-time solutions. They need to be repeated every day, and over time, they will become second nature. With each practice, your mind will grow calmer, your decisions will become clearer, and your life will become more focused. Be patient with yourself. Overcoming overthinking isn't a linear path. Some days will be better than others. There will be moments when your mind tries to pull you back into the old cycle of doubt and worry. But remember, progress isn't perfection. It's about showing up day after day and choosing peace over fear. Celebrate your wins. Each small step forward is a victory. Every time you resist the urge to overthink and instead act, you've won. Every time you stay present and focus on what you can control, you've won. Celebrate these victories, no matter how small. Each one builds your momentum and strengthens your resolve. Ask yourself, how can I continue this journey of breaking free from overthinking in my everyday life? What small change can I commit to today that will help me live with more clarity and peace? Remember, you are not defined by your thoughts. You are the person who chooses to act, to think, and to live with intention. Overthinking will always be a part of life, but it doesn't have to control you. You can create a life where your mind serves you, not the other way around. Conclusion: embrace the change. You are on the path to mastering your mind. And with every step you take, you move closer to the life you were meant to live, free from the chains of overthinking, filled with clarity, purpose, and peace. If you found value in this journey, make sure to subscribe to the channel and join us for more videos that will help you continue your transformation. We're just getting started, and there's so much more to explore together. Don't miss out on future content designed to empower you, break mental limits, and live the life you deserve. Stay tuned, keep growing, and take control of your life.